All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise to you. How about Shema Shabakatam and sincere greeting to the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, teaching this word with sincerity and charity. Brother Phineas, little under this weather, little under the weather. But we're gonna bring out some things, man. Things just still see problems with. We're gonna read. Just it's pretty much just a reading with Brother Phineas. I did this. I did this early, man. And I didn't have my mic plugged up. You know, I did it on my iPad to try to make it easier. But sometimes, man, you take those easier paths, and the Most High spits you out like Jonah. You know, and tells you, hey, man, you need to do this thing properly. And so I'm here on live with y'all late night to go over this Acts 26. Very problematic for Israel. I've seen this particular camp struggle with these things for years. For years. And we're gonna see some of the problematic issues, some of the texts, some of those verses that really just put a thorn into that one West doctrine. And we'll see some of our brothers and sisters just not even willing to engage in these conversations. They're a little bolder now on these other apps like your Clubhouse and so forth. So I'm gonna add this to the screen here, and we're gonna see this video.
An inheritance among them which are sanctified by me, that is in faith.
And Shalaki, I did a video on this Acts 26:17 already with the deacon being tripped up. But you know, for those who haven't seen it,
when it says delivering thee from the people, what people is that?
So now, remember what you just read. You said turn ungodliness or forget them for their sins, correct? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
What okay, so again,
verse 17, I'm asking you a direct question.
So here's the thing. Now when we go back to Romans 11.
Bro, you're not answering the question.
You're not listening. Delivering thee from the people. What people was Paul delivered from?
Remember the scribes, the Sadducees, and Pharisees.
And from the Gentiles. What Gentiles is that?
No. Remember what
let me read verse 17.
Well, you asking me, can I answer?
Read verse 7. No, hold on. Verse 17 says, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles. What Gentiles is that?
So, okay. So the people is the scribes, Pharisees, and Sadducees, and the Gentiles is the other nations.
Unto whom now I sin.
So again, when the New Testament is talking about Gentiles being delivered, it's talking about the northern kingdom.
No. You just said
he lying now.
And so that's the methodology. Is that when anytime it's saying something good about deliverance or any salvation, anything, it's talking about the northern kingdom. Anytime it's saying something terrible, it's talking about the Romans or the other nations, all right, natural Gentiles. But let's get into this. I want us to get into this. We're gonna remove that, and we're gonna share my screen here. And we're gonna look at Acts 26. This is what we're reading here. Can I zoom this thing in? Is there a way to zoom it in? Here we go. Do we got some? I think so. I think it's supposed to zoom in with that, but anyway. Acts 26. Let's get into this thing, okay? We're gonna read the whole chapter. All right, reading with Brother Phineas. Acts 26. Okay, it says, then Agrippa said unto Paul, thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Understanding this, you're understanding the context here. Paul has, said he want to go, up to a higher council. Like, you had the regular courts and then you had like a Supreme Court. He was like, man, I want to take this thing to trial, under the courts of Caesar, under the courts of the Sanhedrin. All right, I want to take this to the next level, man. I ain't finna let y'all, the Jews persecute me because y'all not gonna give me an honest trial. You're just gonna kill me. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little more. But he's standing trial in front of King Agrippa, who is the king of Israel. Okay, he's the king of Israel. He's been put over Israel. A little history about Agrippa. He has lineage from the Hasmonean dynasty and the Herodian dynasty. Herodian dynasty comes from a lineage of Edomites who were converted by the Hasmonean dynasty. He has lineage from both dynasties. Okay, he is a heathen. He is an Edomite. Okay, who is over Israel as a convert. That's over Israel. That's put there by by Claudius. All right, Emperor Claudius, and then after Claudius comes Nero. But after Claudius puts him in, after Herod the first dies. Agrippa is Herod the second. Okay, Herod the Great the second. Herod Agrippa the second. He's put there, Herod dies at 17, but Herod earlier sends him up to be educated in Greece, and with the higher ups and so forth. So we just got to understand that, again, that political climate and how things were operating in those times. Okay, then Agrippa said unto Paul, thou art permitted to speak for thyself. And then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself. I think myself happy, King Agrippa. Okay, he said, I think myself I'm fortunate, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee, touching all things whereof I am accused of the Jews, especially because I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews. Okay, Paul's telling me, I know you to be an expert. All right, you are an expert in these things. And listen, Agrippa beautified Judea, just like his father rebuilt that temple and beautified that temple. All right, they ain't just heathens that just want to destroy. Agrippa's trying to keep peace between the Romans and Jewry. And that was his job. But things got out of order with the zealots and things happening down there in Alexandria and so forth. You got to learn history on these people. Especially because I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews. Wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. Okay, please hear me patiently. I know you're an expert in all these things among the Jews. Shalakia too, man. Agrippa, also was over the temple early. He was in charge of the temple very early, because he got his prince duty at like 17. You know what I'm saying? He started running. He had a small little area above Galilee, and then later he expanded. That land was expanded by Emperor Claudius to him, with just pretty much all of Judea, but not as much as Herod, his father had. I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews, wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. My manner of life from my youth, which was at the first among my own nations at Jerusalem, know all the Jews. All right, everybody knows me. Everybody knows that, how I ran, how I got down to Jerusalem, which knew me from the beginning. If they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion, I lived a Pharisee. Okay, Pharisees had the straightest sect of the religion. Okay, he lived as a Pharisee. Verse 6, and now I stand and I am judged for the hope of the promise made of God unto our fathers, unto which promise are 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, instantly. Okay, zealously, vigorously serving God day and night. These 12 tribes. Y'all do what y'all want to do with that. Hope to come. All right, and the night hope to come. For which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I am accused of the Jews. Why should it be thought a thing incredible with you that God should raise the dead? I verily thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Jesus of Nazareth, which thing I also did in Jerusalem. And many of the saints did I shut up in prison, receiving the authority from the chief priests. And again, I just told you, Agrippa was over those priests. The king of Israel, during those times, we had a king all the way up to 66 CE or 67 CE before. During the Roman Jewish war started, and eventually 7 AD, Vespasian kicks us out of this thing. All right. But we had kings, we had people over us during that whole time, and they were electing the priests, the chief priests. And so, these things were political. The chief priest, it wasn't about a bloodline no more. It was about, how you politically moving, all right, to be elected into these positions. But Paul had got this authority. I just want y'all to know that these aren't just Levites and, hey man, they had tried to do that a little bit, but for the most part, man, you can finesse your way into this thing just by how you're moving out here politically. So he received authority from the chief priests, and when they were put to death, I gave my voice against them. I voted. Yeah, man, put them people to death. Okay, so he was hunting down the believers of the way, the believers of the Messiah, and was shutting them up in prison and putting them to death. All right, and this is what the Jews wanted to do to him. It's funny how them things come back, but that's why he was chosen for the mission. Acts 26:11, and I punished them off in every synagogue. Okay, he's beating them in the synagogues. All right, he's stoning them, he's killing them in the synagogues, and compelled them to blaspheme. All right, what are he doing here? Dropping their flag, saying that nah, Christ is not the Messiah. Nah, Yahushua is not the one who was sent, the one who was told to come from the prophets. Okay, he did not die and resurrect. Say it or I'm gonna kill you. And these things will, it's a foreshadow of things to come to believers during these end times. Verse 11 again, and I punished them off in every synagogue and compelled them to blaspheme, and being exceedingly mad against them. Okay, exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities. No matter where they ran, I was hunting them down. Okay, I was the way slayer. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me and them which journeyed with me. And when we were fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And verse 15, and I said, who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. But rise and stand upon thy feet, for I have appeared unto thee for this purpose. I have appeared unto thee for this purpose, Shalakia, to make thee a minister and a witness both of these things which thou hast seen, and of those things in which I will appear unto thee, unto these things which I will show thee. All right. Delivering thee, watch this, and this is where the problematic problem comes. This is where the brother gets tripped up at. All right. Delivering thee from the people who he acknowledges the people are Israelites, Pharisees, scribes, Pharisees, Jews, whatever you want to put it. And from the Gentiles, which he describes as the other nations, unto whom now I am sent. So unto whom now I send thee is connected to the Gentiles. It's connected here. Whoever you saying these Gentiles are, delivering thee from the people, whoever you saying the people are, and from the Gentiles unto whom I send thee. And whoever you saying these Gentiles are, this particular brother here was saying that the deacon here said, come on, y'all. Having clients on the West Coast, man, sending texts and pictures. It's 12 o'clock. But, the West Coast is what, about 8, 7? delivering thee from people and from Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee. All right. And so he got tripped up here. He said the Gentiles, and then said unto whom now I send thee. So he sent unto these Gentiles. And that brother said there was nation, but then he tried to change it and so forth. And it caused a lot of commotion. And it's a bad look. It's a bad look on the organization. But and they need to address it. Don't stop running from these things. And just, if you in error, man, you in error. Like, nobody's going to leave. All right, nobody's going to leave IUIC because you got something wrong. They're going to leave for corrupt things, for things, mistreating people and other things but they ain't going to leave because you made a mistake doctrinally. All right, and when you open that door, man, you might can tighten up a lot of things that you may have wrong. And the same for me and anybody that's affiliated with our organization. In our organization, really. Verse 18, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins. Who may receive forgiveness of sins? All right, the people and the Gentiles unto whom I have sent. He's going to deliver you from the people and from the Gentiles I have sent. My mission is from the Gentiles unto whom now I have sent. Whoever you saying these people are. That they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified, and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. All right, sanctification by faith. Sanctification by faith. Verse 19, whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient unto this heavenly vision, but showed first unto them of Damascus. Listen to what he did now. He went first to them of Damascus and of Jerusalem and throughout all the coast of Judea. And then to the Gentiles, that they should repent and turn to God and do works here, and do works meet for repentance, acceptable. All right. Do works that are acceptable for repentance. Verse 21, for these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. All right, they got him in the temple. They wanted to kill him. Verse 22, having therefore obtained help of God, I continued unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things, watch this now, very important, none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. All right, all I'm teaching is what the prophets and Moses said should come. And he's going to expound on exactly what this is. You don't have to guess. You don't have to speculate. He's going to tell you exactly what he's teaching from the prophets and the Moses that should come. That Christ should suffer and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead and should show light unto the people. Who are the people? Verse 17. Who are the people? Who are the Gentiles unto whom he is sent? Unto the people. Where we at? Yeah. Shalakia, verse 23, that Christ should suffer and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. And he thus spake for himself, Festus. And see, that's what I'm saying. You're going to, when it says the people, you're going to take the northern kingdom out of that. They're not the people. And then you're gonna say southern kingdom, and then the Gentiles here is northern kingdom. In the same text, like how you gonna say in 17 the Gentiles are the other nations, and then 5 verses down you're gonna say the Gentiles is the northern kingdom. when he just talked about the 12 tribes up here and the hope that came from the 12. Like, come on, man. Come on now. Paul know these folks is gone. We're at 24. And as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Much learning doeth make thee mad. Okay, who is Festus? All right, Festus. We can get an idea who Festus is here. But he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. That most noble, when it's saying things like that, these are higher ups. He's giving reverence and respect to someone who has a great authority. Festus is the procurator for Israel, elected by the emperor. Okay, he is a Gentile, a Roman. And I know, brothers, man, just because he is Roman don't mean that he is a Jew, that he ain't a Jew. He's a Roman. We couldn't profess the Acts 16:20. He, being a Roman, you can't profess yourself to Jew, so he could be like, we don't have to play those semantics. All right. But neither the case, you ain't gonna be able to do that with Agrippa. But these are the things, man. We play with this text because we want to hold on so much to that pre-notion that only Israel can be saved. And you're gonna keep running into text like this that you're not gonna be able to explain. And that's gonna put you on videos like that. Verse 25, but he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. For the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak freely. For I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him. Okay, none of these things are hidden from the king. Why? Because he knows. Verse 3. Let's go up. Verse 3. Yeah. I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions among the Jews. Okay, so he's going back down. He's telling you that Agrippa, Agrippa knows all these things. King Agrippa, verse 26, for the king know of these things. So he's speaking over Festus, who was under the king. Like, man, listen, but the king knows this stuff, man. He know what I'm talking about. You may think I'm crazy, but the king knows everything that I'm sitting here telling you. Before whom I also speak freely, for I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him, for this thing was not done in a corner. Okay? This thing was done openly, notoriously. Hostility. Well, let me leave that alone. Acts 26:27, it said, King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? Okay, do you believe the prophets? What is he talking about there? Because of the things because he's teaching from the prophets and Moses the things that should come, that Christ must suffer and be the first to rise from the dead and be a light unto the people and unto the Gentiles. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? I know that thou believest. I know you believe. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. And this way it gets problematic too. And Paul said, I would to God that not only thou, but also all that hear me this day were both almost and altogether such as I am, except these bonds. I wish y'all led the life. I wish you had the same faith that I have. And not just you, but all in this room. Festus, King Agrippa, the Sanhedrin, you unbelieving scribes and Pharisees, anybody who's in the room, and we know that Gentiles in the room, at least two, Festus and Agrippa, and he's talking directly to Agrippa. I wish that you all had this same level of faith, except in all things, except these bonds. I wouldn't wish this on you, okay? And our brothers and sisters in Israel will say, yeah, man, he's saying that because he want to get out of this. He don't want to be, he just trying to save his life. He's being, he lied before, when he had to get the money and and so we using these speculations. But Paul said he was ready to die when he came to Jerusalem. That's in Acts 21. Acts 21. Let me see. We got about 3 more verses here, y'all. Let me just go here. Acts 21. I think it's 21:17. No, 21:11 or something like that. Well, it's 23. Paul answered, "What mean ye to weep and to break mine heart? For I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die for the name of the Lord Yahushua." All right. Not only am I ready to be bound, so the people were trying to stop him from going to Jerusalem, understanding that he was going to be in this particular situation. But Paul just told him, "I am ready to die." Now we're gonna come in here and say, well, he just speaking subtly and he just trying to, he just trying to get his way out of jail and get back out there on the highways and byways. Come on, man. We gotta stop that. Verse 30, and when he had thus spoken, the king rose up, and the governor, and Bernice, and they that sat with them, all these Gentiles, man. And I ain't gonna say that. I take that back. And they that sat with him could be anybody. I don't know. But what we do know is Agrippa, Festus, Bernie. I think that's Agrippa's wife. Let me see. Do I know how to use these tools anymore? Commentaries, interlinear. I don't think I know how to use this thing no more. Yeah. Oh man, I don't. Okay. Let me get back. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to get back to the concordance, to the Strongs in there. But anyway, let's finish this up. And when they had gone aside, they talked between themselves, saying, "This man doeth nothing worthy of death or of bonds." Then said Agrippa unto Festus, "This man might have been set at liberty if he had not appealed unto Caesar." And so, Agrippa didn't find nothing wrong with what was going on, and found him not worthy of death nor bonds. All right, nor death nor bonds. So we have to be, again, man, just slow read the text, go through these things. Another reading with your brother Phineas. I got another video here. I want to share with y'all. Another little short vid I want to share. Let me share my screen. Windows, pow. Tab. And we see this is 3 years later here. All right, 3 years ago, July 31st, 19. Of course, he went there. Look what he's reading.
Now everyone needs to see this. I wish
Acts
before
26.
God.
So he's going there with that same. He's going there to try to cut them with the Acts 26.
Badumia, and you know what it means in Greek. You're slaves. So that's
they listen, but they don't say anything.
Those are eternity or Israelism. It's single. Can I show you? Can I show you a verse that shows you're not obeying Jesus Christ by not giving an answer? I'll show you right here. It's in 1 Peter. So we turn to 1 Peter, who is an apostle, and we look at 1 Peter 3:15, and you know what he says?
But that's not a good look. Brothers think that's a good look. That ain't a good look. And brothers keep their tongue. Because I love talking about this guy, man. Love talking about him. But, we'll tell people don't engage him no more. But they love doing videos, love, Come on, man. And then he using the Proverbs 28 on us.
To anyone.
Because it don't matter. We all Israelites. It don't matter, yo, man, you wearing these colors and all that stuff, man. We do one thing. When people see you, if someone out of my organization will say I do something crazy, and being an Israelite, it's still gonna be tarnished on you. It's still gonna be on you. If I, If I don't even want to say that kind of stuff. But if I did something terrible, it'll bounce back. Just like the Joker who shot them folks. Shot them folks in that city, man. And then they say, oh, well, he's an Israelite. We seen some of his notes, and he was watching these folks, and that stuff come back no matter what. So you can try to, we can divide with the colors and so forth, but man, we all one. We all in one body. I think he brought it out to them too. But here I want to show you. There's another part where he was talking to GMS. And he was saying the same thing that we were taught in One West. And I ain't even gonna worry about it. Cause everybody who's been in Israel
and in all the region of Judea.
Shalakia. Everybody in Israel know that's how we break that down. If you ever heard it broke down, we break it down that Paul was trying to save his life. And that's why he needed to speak the way he did in Acts 26. But that's all I wanted to give y'all, man. I hope this thing was edifying to the body, y'all, man. Y'all keep me in prayer. Keep the ministry in prayer. Keep Israel in prayer. You know what I'm saying? Keep Israel as a whole in prayer, man. That we can overcome these tribulations, any thorns, and any situations that brothers and going through, man. Any ills and any sickness that brothers is dealing with. I say I'm dealing with a little slight cold. But man, you just don't know, man. In these times we living in now, man, these plagues and pestilence that are coming upon this earth, man. You just you don't know what a cough is no more, man. You gotta be mindful of a sneeze. You gotta be mindful. But this weather changing. And man, pray for covering for all the brothers that's and sisters that's doing tabernacles out there right now, man. It's cold out there. It's a little chilly at night. Being inside of them tents, man. I was saying that when we was closing. Like, man, them brothers gonna be doing that out there in 2 more weeks from now, because it was a little chilly for us too. Even though we did ours late September to like the 3rd of October. But man, those who's doing it right now, man, it's a little chilly out there. So pray for them too, man, that none of them get into any bad weather or any sickness from being out there in that weather like that, because you ain't used to it. If you was out there and you was used to it, and you was used to living out there in the tent, it wouldn't be nothing. But we not used to being out there, man, not like that. So pray for cover for Israel as a whole, man. But I pray this thing was edifying to the body, man. Y'all be blessed. Make sure y'all like, sub, and subscribe. Until next time, shalom.